Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk the premiere of The Sandman. I am curious, I am nervous, but more than anything, I am thrilled. I am freaking excited because The Sandman has finally come to television. It's the first adaptation of the comic that got me into comics. The Sandman is the reason I started reading comics in my late teens, in my university years. It's the reason I discovered Watchmen, V for Vendetta, The Dark Knight Returns, Hellblazer, Preacher, Why the Last Man, Transmetropolitan, 100 Bullets, Cerebus, Sin City, all these amazing comics that I never would have even considered reading if I hadn't discovered the magic that is The Sandman first. For fans of this comic book, seeing this show appear now is kind of mind-blowing, because this has been a story that for a long time has been considered unshootable, unfilmable, best left in its original format. Leave it as it is. Don't ruin it. Don't tarnish it. So yeah, that's why I'm nervous, because as great as it is that Neil Gaiman's attached and heavily involved, the cast looks incredible, the visuals from the trailers look flawless, it still just may not hit. But I'm crossing my fingers that all the magic of the original story is captured on the screen for a brand new audience. And yeah, I know this story inside out. I love this story. We'll talk in detail afterwards about what stayed the same, about what changed. I will try and remain as spoiler-free as I can, because I know a bunch of you are watching this for the very first time, but I am so psyched. I am so enthusiastic. I am so excited. This is something special. This is the first time I've done on-the-date reactions to a new Netflix show. So what sucks is all the episodes are out. I will not be able to react and edit videos for every episode in a single week or anything close to that. But what I will do, so as to not sacrifice all the other shows that I'm also reacting to, is you will get Sandman reactions from me every Tuesday and Friday from now until it's complete. So keep an eye out for that schedule. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts at the end of this about, especially if this is your first time seeing The Sandman. I would love to hear what your first impressions are. And I'm so psyched. Let's jump right into it, guys. This is going to be a blast. This is The Sandman, Episode 1, Sleep of the Just. Oh, I'm just like...
We begin.
Pins and needles.
You mortals go about your work, your loves, your wars, as if your waking lives are all that matter.
These visuals, man.
But there is another life which awaits you when you close your eyes.
The gates of horn and ivory.
And enter my realm of dreams. And nightmares. Sleep brings you here.
Oh, look at the sleeping figure in the mountains.
You are coming back, aren't you?
Why would I not return, Lucienne?
Dreams rarely survive in the waking world. Nightmares, on the other hand...
Wake up, sir. We're here.
I must have dozed off.
The visuals of that intro were amazing. And we're opening just like the comic did.
Are you here to see the makers?
He's from Bly Manor, isn't he? Or is he? I'm definitely getting that vibe. The little kid.
The Magus will receive his guests in the study, Alex.
Yes, Mr. Sykes.
Yeah, it's him.
Dr. Hathaway, what an unexpected pleasure.
Alex, tea for our guest.
As you know, I lost my son Randall recently at Gallipoli. Randall was my greatest joy. If I give you the book, can you really capture the Angel of Death? Oh, yes. Your Edmund and my Randall will live again.
Oh, this is new.
Corinthian. My...
No, I beg you.
Oh. Very interesting.
I give you a coin made
We never knew
stone.
in the books
I give you a
where
knife
Sandman was just
under the
before
hills.
this, but now we do.
I summon you with pain!
Charles dance is so good. Ah! It actually worked, but it didn't.
Get that pouch for me. But be careful.
Son's the guinea pig.
Don't break the binding circle. We'll let our guest recover before we tell him our demands.
He thinks he's got death.
Lovey, wake up. Unity.
Good morning, Magus. I know all about you, Roderick. You're gonna need all the help you can get. No one must be allowed to fall asleep in his presence,
Or he will escape into your dreams.
and you don't want that. Well, you'll have to deal with that one. Her name is Jessamy. She belongs to him.
Will I see you again?
You should hope not.
Welcome to the Corinthian, everybody. I love that they've made some adjustments from the comic because it makes it fresh for me too. There's still surprises in store for somebody who knows the story really well.
Dream of the endless. If you give him back to me, alive and well, I'll release you. Is that in your power, Lord of Dreams? Is there nothing you can offer me?
I don't think he negotiates.
Oh, have it your way then.
He looks so good.
So I remained silent.
Hello?
These visuals are just amazing. I love the look of this so
Alex? Are you alright in there? I'm sorry about all of this. I would let you out. If I could.
You would you?
Uh-oh.
You know what would happen if you let him out?
I won't, Magus, I promise.
You don't want to die, Alex, do you? Because if you do, it's relatively simple. I've been trying to shoot this wretched bird for 10 years now. Prove it to me. Shoot the fucking bird. Ethel.
We're getting so much more of these characters here this way. I love it. Jessamy's looking. Dream knows. I got a thing for ravens. This is awesome. Stone match. Oh. Are we burning down the house? What can Jessamy do? God. Presumably Roderick got it. Oh, Alex did.
Idiot. You could have shattered the glass.
Jessamy was only ever a name in the comic. It matters so much more now. Yeah, Alex is hooped.
Most slept without waking.
Unity Kincaid with her dollhouse.
I'm going to have a baby.
That's wonderful news.
He wants me to get rid of it. I'll be fine.
I love how much more we're getting with these characters. We saw them for just mere panels.
She's taking it all. The helmet, the pouch, the ruby, the grimoire, and 200,000 in cash.
She's taken far more than that. Now I can unlock this, you can go after her. If you give me what I've been asking for. Speak to me! Speak to me! If Randall were alive today...
If Randall were alive, he would hate you as much as I do.
You're never getting out of there. Never.
Just like that. Wow.
He's not moving.
This is definitely different from the comic, but I'm digging it so much.
What would your father say?
Oh man. So close to letting him go.
But the Sandman's not coming. From now on, Johnny, you and I are going to have to make our own dreams come true. And no one is going to stand in our way.
Will you promise not to harm us?
If you could just speak to us, show him that he can trust you. Show him that you mean it.
And I will let you out.
Should I have believed him this time? Should I have forgiven him for murdering my raven? Perhaps. But in the end, I could not.
But all I ever wanted was to be free of you. Surely you want that too.
And he's just afraid.
Take me upstairs, Paul. I won't be coming down here again.
Uh-oh. Does he know he did that? Yeah, he does. He did it on purpose. He did it on purpose. Wow.
Mallorca. 4 days, and I'll be on a beach.
Bugger. Oh, I was on Corfu and I once.
Yeah. It's not a Dracula. The Dream of the Beach of Mallorca is like straight from the book. This shot right here is like straight from the book. Ah, I love it. Alex is dreaming.
I am.
Oh, the pinpricks of light in his eyes. Love it.
And you have any idea what it was like? Do you understand the damage you've done to your world? I give you this. The gift of eternal sleep.
He's out of his cage. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to run to look just like me.
Oh my goodness. Sir. Lucia. You're home.
These visuals, man. Bonkers.
residents?
I'm afraid most have gone.
Do my own subjects not know me?
It would not be the first time one of the Endless had just...
Enough.
Yeah.
I will not have dreams and nightmares preying on the waking world.
This is going to be an interesting show for me to comment on because I know the story. I'm not completely in the dark. But that being said, what I'm really realizing from this first episode is this is not a straight from the book, 100% faithful adaptation. And that's a good thing. It would be a very rare comic book that would translate perfectly to the screen without any changes. And it's the changes that I'm really digging, just because they change subtle things about the show. Primarily what I found, like this episode is the first issue of the comic. The story stops in the same place. Starts in the same place, ends in the same place. But that comic is 24 pages of word balloons and pictures. And this is 50 plus minutes of television. You can fit so much more into those 50 minutes than you can into that 24 pages. And I like what they did. These characters that we didn't get to know, they were only names and images on the page, now have personality and motivation. And we spent more time with Roderick and his son Alex. We spent more time with Ethel Cripps and Paul, and the story's for the better because of it. And I love that the Corinthian appears right at the beginning of this story. It's a spoiler to the comic books, but not to the show. He didn't show up in the comics until a handful of episodes in. So integrating him into the story right off the top is a brilliant move, because he does become an important character. It's smart to introduce him early. So I'm really appreciating these changes. Just seeing what choices the writers and producers made in the adaptation, which I find a really interesting process, and I mean, this is such an awesome case study for that. But let's put aside all of the analysis of the meta-analysis of story, and let's just talk about the show itself. Tom Sturridge is, in my mind, perfect as Dream. He's nailing the look. His voice is perfect. His piercing silent stare is everything you want in the character, and I cannot wait to see more of him. I mean, in a weird sense, he did very little this episode. He spent the bulk of this episode not moving, saying nothing, in a glass bubble, and yet he performed in there. It was subtle, it was nuanced, but it was instantly readable, and it was great. Charles Dance, you can't go wrong. The man is so talented and skilled. This version of Roderick is very reminiscent of the steward of Gondor in Lord of the Rings. The wrong son died, desperately clinging to hope and power and all these things, but he's just corrupt. Alex killed his father here. That's a whole new level, like unintentionally, but that did not happen in the comic books. And yeah, wow. Alex, it was interesting. The comic books flashed through the decades, and I totally get why you wouldn't want to spend the time on the hair and the makeup and the costumes, just advancing 10 years at a time during a television production. So we spent a lot more time in 1926 with young Alex. We saw Roderick die much earlier than he does in the book. That doesn't change the story. I like how Alex's choice becomes very crystalline in this version, where he wants to he doesn't believe the imprisonment is just. He doesn't think he should be keeping Dream captive, but the only reason he doesn't release him is because he hasn't received that promise that he'll be safe. He doesn't want to unleash the potential terror of this captive god on the world, and so he keeps him imprisoned. And the other really cool change that happened here from the book, which I really appreciate, the way the barrier circle was broken is identical to the book. The image is even the same, of the wheelchair wheel cutting through it as Alex is wheeled away. What was new here is Paul did it intentionally. It was played as an accident in the comic, that Dream was just waiting for somebody to slip up. He was just, it was all about just patience, waiting. Sooner or later you're gonna screw up, and when you do, I'll be ready. But this one's different. A human helped him. A human did it, and they had that knowing glance. It was there. It was brief. It was subtle, but it was there. And I wonder what that's going to do to Dream's character. Like, we're going to get a really good sense of his mindset in this next episode, in episode 2. Right now, we can only imagine what he's thinking. You know, what are his priorities now that he's free? Is it rebuilding his kingdom? Is it getting his tools back? Is it exacting revenge? He's already exacted revenge on Alex, but who else may he lash out at to avenge his century-long imprisonment? So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to get into the mind of Dream in this next episode, now that he's talking, now that he's got people to have conversations with, now that he's got trusted advisors, Lucien. Hopefully we're going to meet his new Raven next episode. Jessamy, that was another really interesting change. Jessamy exists in the comics, but as far as I can remember, and I can't be positive, but I'm fairly sure, only ever exists as a name, as one of Morpheus's Dream's previous Ravens. But I don't think we ever actually meet Jessamy. And here, Jessamy is like circling Witch Manor for like a decade, trying to help Dream somehow or other, and has this whole sort of bird heist sequence, which was really, really fun, well shot, really just cool. Trying to figure out how it's done. Like, obviously there's a ton of CG in there, but like there were some shots where I feel like they must have had like an actual live Raven on set for some of these shots. But man, if they didn't, congrats to the CG. But in any case, yeah, then this violent end. Alex killed Jessamy. Dream didn't forgive that. Dream was never able to trust Alex after that, because they had that moment prior, but it didn't last. I'm really psyched to see where this goes, how the producers and writers, Neil Gaiman in particular, because I know he would have been central to so many of these decisions, decided to adapt the show. I can't wait to get into the next one, guys. I can't wait to join you guys for it. So keep an eye out for that. It'll be out on Tuesday. And until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.